All right, guys. So we are back, and we have another wild story. So many of you heard about what's going on with Diddy, and Cassie, who is his girlfriend,
Sad.
was able to finally testify and tell some of her story, which we're gonna get into a little bit of it. It's crazy, but before we do that, we want to talk about this guy who's on the screen now. He ended up in police custody
Years ago.
years ago, back in 2018, and he was in the investigation room, and he told a story about being, trafficked by Diddy, none other than Diddy. Okay, now at the
Right.
time it sounded crazy, right? It sounded wild.
Nobody believed him.
Nobody believed him. He was telling a story of being, trafficked by Diddy and being basically a prostitute at the
slave.
time, a sex slave at the time.
Sounded like he was out of his wazoo.
Yeah, sounded crazy, right? So we're gonna get into this story, man.
He's saying all that because this is one of the people that Cassie brought up saying that he was involved.
Right. So Cassie came out and said, confirmed the things that he was saying.
Like 13 different men, and he was one of them.
He was one of them. So let's get into this story right now.
So in May of 2018, a man named Jonathan Oddi opened fire at Donald Trump's Miami golf course and was shot and arrested by police. Now, Oddi said that he was in the middle of a bipolar episode. That's where it gets interesting. Later, while being questioned by Florida authorities, Oddi brought up something totally unexpected. He claimed that he'd been a sex slave for Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura. This video is courtesy of Real World Media. Take a look.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave.
So at the time, Oddi's story seemed too far-fetched to believe, but not anymore. And now, in an exclusive interview, Oddi opens up to News Nation senior producer Allison Weiner about his claims, beginning with why he's agreed to talk now. Listen to this.
I felt bad because I got along well with her, and I think she's a decent person. And unfortunately, I had a suspicion that she was in a situation that she was in, but I wasn't sure. And now I understand the life, what was going on in her life, and what was happening. And him beating her up in the hotel shows me the type of individual he is, and confirms that everything that happened to me was true and correct and in line with his personality.
So he's speaking to us from a Miami jail now. Here is how Oddi says it all began for him.
I was a male Chippendale, a model Chippendale, you could say. And they called me for a show for, they called the agency that I work for to do a show. And then I went and did a show, and things led to them offering me more money to perform sexual acts. And that's it. That's how I basically got started. I get dressed like a police officer, I do a show, I do strip down, and then, they offer me some more money. They offer me some more money to do some extra stuff.
So
Wild. So it's crazy because this story came out, right? Him being in an investigation after this shooting with police that he committed, right? And then he ran into the Trump hotel, and then he was arrested. Now, he said at the time he was also trying to warn Trump, I guess, about Hillary Clinton and Obama and all this kind of stuff, and the cabal and all that type of stuff. So he was really, just confessing a lot of different things. And this was one of the things that came out.
Yeah, he said that he went through this during one of his bipolar episodes. People like this minds are, can be in such a different state, and be so lost with everything that he's involved in, and then getting involved with Diddy and Cassie and everything that they're involved in. Your soul can really be blemished.
Right. This man's been through a whole lot. This is a crazy story.
He did get specific about the extra stuff that he says Diddy wanted from him, and these specifics were consistent with what he told law enforcement during the 2014 interrogation. Here is how he describes the atmosphere and how frequently
it was
it happened.
2014? Dang.
Candles, sensual atmosphere, lights off. He would sit in a corner in a sofa, watch and masturbate. And he'd say, he'd tell her, give her instructions what to do to me. Perform oral sex, rub baby oil. Then he'd tell me rub baby on her, perform oral sex, and then have sex.
How many times did you have sex with Cassie?
Probably like 15 sessions.
And what did you get paid? How much?
It would be like 800 each time. Each act. But sometimes they'll call me twice. I'll leave, and then 3 hours later, they would call me, come back.
Wild, man. And who would have thunk like
This
that?
is a girl who Diddy said that he loved.
Loved.
Okay, beyond measure. On the Wendy Williams show, said that he loved her. He loved everything about her, the way she smiled, the way she laughed. That's what you call love, my guy?
Right, and we're gonna get into some of her, testimony when she testified. So this is from a Complex. It says Ventura, who's Cassie, said that the freak-offs, which she quotations hated, always followed a similar script, one in which Diddy would control every step, even demanding that the other men not finish until he said it was okay. One particular detail about that was brought out by prosecutor Emily Johnson, who was questioning the singer. On some occasions, Cassie said, escorts would finish on her, ending what she called a session, a choreographed routine with an escort lasting usually between 1 and 3 hours that culminated in intercourse. Each escort, she said, would do 2 to 3 sessions, and each freak-off would feature 3 to 4 escorts. So that's some of what he was describing during this interview that was given.
1 to 3 hours.
That's insane.
Crazy.
After some sessions, she alleged she and Diddy would retire to a separate room. At that point, she said of Diddy, he would want me to put the male ejaculate on his body. She specified that at those times, the mogul would ask her to put the escort's ejaculate on his chest and his nipples. This is
demonic.
This is so demonic and sick. Like,
you
it's
want
hard to
another
describe.
Man's semen on you.
It's sick.
Yeah,
It's really sick, man. Like, how do
disgusting.
these people get to these points?
When it comes to Diddy or different people in these positions, a lot of times so much drugs consume them to the point where they have to do something that is completely out of the ordinary just to climax.
Right.
That's why a lot of different rich people in Dubai like getting boo-booed on their chest because they have to get to a certain...
That's sick.
I'm sorry.
That's sick.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
sick, man. It's a sick
They have to
thing.
get to a certain point where their mind gets so stimulated.
No, that's a real thing, a real fetish.
No, it's very serious. You can ask different women. You know what I mean? Like, it's different girls who are on IG and stuff like that. They post different pictures from different countries that they go to. They'll post everything except the guy, right? But in all actuality, they're getting flown out there, and they're going through different things that you don't even know what they're going through.
Getting paid thousands of dollars to have somebody defecate on you. It's just, it's sick stuff that goes on in this world, man, in Hollywood. And
yeah, that's sick on both parts. The guy who wants to do something like that and the woman who's allowing that to happen because of money.
Right.
That's selling yourself. You're losing your soul. You're getting blemished in the spirit.
And people will call this stuff conspiracy. How many times would people call stuff like this conspiracy? Oh, people have been talking about this for years going on in Hollywood and stuff. And now all of this is coming to light, you know, in this
people thought he
time.
was a loony bird when he was talking. He said that this man right here said Rick Ross is gay.
Jonathan Oddi.
He said that Diddy's gay. He said that Khaled's gay. Him. When he was talking about that in 2014, people thought he was a Looney Tune.
Crazy.
Now Cassie just named him in the case that she's
And
going
said,
through.
yeah, he was actually there. He's one of the male escorts that took
Right.
part in these escapades. So the man was telling the absolute truth.
Right.
Okay. And like I said, he was also, you know, said he was there in the interrogation room. He was trying to warn Trump of something that was coming. People were trying to take him out.
Crazy.
Which is wild. And then Trump ended up having this stuff actually take place years later.
Right.
It's crazy. Attempts on his life.
Super
you know.
insane.
So this is a wild story, man. I'm definitely praying for Cassie. I know you are too, man. And
Right.
you know, everybody involved who was a victim. You know, and this is
Poor
this
girl.
is-
All she wanted to do was sing.
that's it. She just wanted a
Got
career,
involved with Diddy, and Diddy ruined her life.
turned her life upside down. Okay, I remember when her song came. I don't know if it was 2002. That song, "Me and You."
Yeah.
Yeah, that song. It came out, man, and it blew up. You know, it blew her up. I wonder if that's when she got involved with him, like once her song came out, or if it was before
It
him.
had to. She said that they made hundreds of songs.
Wow. And she
Yeah.
didn't get to put none of them out.
No, that one.
That's
and
how he was stringing her along. You know, he's like, and that's what some of these dudes do. They're like, oh yeah, I'll give you fame, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. They got this power over them, and they drag
Right.
them along. It's like a carrot, you know.
Yeah.
And they hold it in front of them, dangle in front of them.
Yeah, you gotta be quicker than that. Yeah,
It's sick, man.
for sure.
It's sick. So yeah, this stuff is coming out now, man. It's being exposed, and let it continue to be exposed. All the
Amen.
darkness that's happening in Hollywood, not only in with cases like this and grown women, but you have young girls,
Right.
you know, who are being
Sad.
quote unquote moved around to these gentlemen.
Right.
You know, so let all this stuff come out. Let it all be exposed.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. All right, guys, that's all we got for now. Leave a comment, man. Let us know what you think about this situation, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace.
Amen.